Ambassador SciFi had heard the phrase countless times during first contact negotiations. Every human delegation, from the sprawling megacities of Earth to the frontier colonies scattered across the Outer Rim, would eventually utter those same words, "Please don't make us mad." The Galactic Council found it amusing. Here was a species that had barely mastered interstellar travel, whose weapons were laughably primitive compared to the plasma cannons of the Vorthan Empire or the reality-bending technology of the Crystalline Collective. Yet they persistently issued this quaint warning as if their anger posed some cosmic threat. It's almost endearing, Chancellor Morden had chuckled during one council session. Like a small child threatening to hold their breath until they turned blue. The other species nodded in agreement. The Zephyrians, who could manipulate gravity itself, snorted through their gill slits. The Mechanized Confederation calculated the probability of human retaliation at 0.003% effectiveness. Even the usually cautious empaths dismissed the warnings as typical human bravado. They had studied human history, of course. The species was undeniably violent, their primitive wars were well documented. But violence was common among young civilizations. Most species grew out of it once they achieved spaceflight and encountered the broader galactic community. The humans would learn their place soon enough. The first incident occurred on Kepler 442b, a mining world rich in quantum crystals. The Hegemony Corporation, a joint venture between several major galactic powers, had established operations there before realizing the planet hosted a small human research station. The humans politely requested that mining operations avoid their archaeological sites. Apparently, they discovered ruins of an ancient civilization. Inefficient, declared Overseer Klett of the Hegemony. We'll mine where the crystals are densest. Your little dig sites are irrelevant. The human expedition leader, Dr. Sarah Chun, had calmly responded, "We understand your position, but we're asking you to reconsider. Please don't make us mad." Klett ordered the excavation to proceed. The human archaeological sites were bulldozed within hours. What happened next would be studied in military academies for generations. The humans didn't send fleets or deploy weapons. Instead, they disappeared. All of them, from every human world, station, and ship in the galaxy. The silence was deafening. Within 3 months, the galactic economy began to collapse. The humans, it turned out, had become integral to interstellar commerce in ways no one had fully appreciated. They were the galaxy's negotiators, the neutral parties who facilitated trade between species too proud or too different to deal directly with each other. They were also the universe's best engineers, their peculiar combination of creativity and stubbornness allowing them to solve problems that stumped more advanced civilizations. Space stations began malfunctioning without human maintenance crews. Trade routes fell apart without human mediators. The Crystalline Collective's reality-bending technology started experiencing cascade failures that only human quantum engineers knew how to fix. But the real crisis began when the messages started arriving. Not from humans, from everywhere else. From the dark matter entities that existed between dimensions, from the quantum consciousness that lived in the spaces between atoms, from ancient machine intelligences that had slumbered for eons in the cores of dead stars. The messages were all variations of the same theme. The humans are gone. The universe is unbalanced. Fix this. It was then that the Galactic Council learned the terrible truth. Humanity wasn't just another species. They were the universe's pressure valve. When they said, "Don't make us mad," they weren't threatening violence. They were warning that their anger served a cosmic function, channeling the rage and chaos that would otherwise tear reality apart. Every human tantrum, every moment of fury, every act of defiance was actually preventing something far worse. Their anger was a sacrifice, a burden they carried to keep the universe stable. When they left, that burden fell on everyone else. The first reality tears appeared 6 months after the human exodus. The Vorthan Empire watched in horror as their home system simply ceased to exist, not destroyed but erased from the timeline itself. The Mechanized Confederation's perfectly logical minds couldn't process the illogical chaos that began spreading through their networks. Ambassador SciFi stood in the ruins of the council chambers, watching as the walls flickered between dimensions. Through the quantum static, he could hear a single human voice, calm and patient. "We told you not to make us mad. We're ready to come home now. Are you ready to listen?" The universe held its breath, waiting for an answer.